Good day to you all. My name is Oladipo Fulua and I'm here representing Dansol High School. Now today we have a particularly interesting topic at hand. We're talking about youth participation in politics and how that is the key to Nigeria's future. But before I begin, I find it absolutely necessary and very importantly that I explain some of the key terms within the motion itself. So I begin with youth. Now the United Nations describes anyone between the ages of 15 and 24 to being their youth. However, that age bracket in Nigeria extends from 18 to 35 years. Secondly, I'd like to talk about political participation. This could be seen from different angles and different views. It could be seen as youth going to the polling booths and casting their votes, or being engaged in political campaigns. However, I believe in Nigeria we've had enough of that. I'd like to see youth being involved in government itself, upholding offices within government. So I begin with the question, how many of us ever thought I'd like to be a governor or president, at least when we were young? I did, at some point. But as I grew older, I realized that this was more and more unattainable because I lived in a country where the members of the House of Rep, Senate, the governor and the president, these offices were meant for men and women in their 50s and 60s. I quite frankly disagree with that. One of the reasons that youth are discouraged from entering politics is that they're underestimated for the wealth of experience they can bring. Imagine a country where we had leaders who actually understand the Nigerian experience, where we had youth who can use the global issues around the world and take this nation into a new direction. The dynamism of the 21st century is definitely in motion. And one of the newfound qualities of the leader needed today in society is someone who can think as fast as the world changes. I don't see why Nigeria, such a potential game changer it is to Africa and the world, should have a president who is over 70. I mean, look at our neighbouring country, the Cameroon, who has Paul Biya, who's currently 85 years old, or Jacob Zuma of South Africa, who's 75. Why should Nigeria be in that league of nations? I believe we need the youth to lead this country. And maybe for a start, we should consider, just maybe, reducing the minimum age for presidency from 40 to 35. To sum it up in the purest of words, I quote Robert F. Kennedy, and listen carefully. He says the world needs the qualities of youth, not a time of life, but a state of mind. A temper of the will, a quality of imagination, the predominance of courage over timidity, and what I agree with the most, the appetite for adventure and not the love of ease. Thank you. Over to you, Leslie.
Personally, I do believe that youth should be actively involved in politics of Nigeria because at this very stage in their life, their creativity and productivity is at its peak. But before I go in depth into this topic, I would like to introduce myself. Good day, viewers, all protocols duly observed. My name is Isibo Dejri and I'm representing Dansol High School, and I will be deliberating on the topic that is set before us today. Rewind to Nigeria's past leaders like Alhaji Shehu Shagari, Ibrahim Babangida, and even our incumbent president, President Muhammadu Buhari. All these leaders began actively participating in government as early as the age of 30. I cite the example of Yakubu Gowon, who became the head of state at the age of 32 and had the longest tenure in office. His tenure was characterized with a lot of brilliant innovations, one of which is the National Youth Service Corps, which is still ongoing today and has changed the lives of so many. Also, Babatunde Raji Fashola, the former Lagos State Governor, was able to make magnificent changes in his time, and he was able to improve the quality of life and the standard of living of the citizens. The question we do need to ask ourselves here right now is that if our past and even present leaders were actively involved in politics, why can't the youth of today also be actively involved in politics? This moves me on to my second point. In our world today, specifically in Nigeria, we have a lot of youth leadership and empowerment schemes and various foundations, seminars, workshops, which have been put in place to raise up future leaders and to enlighten them on the basic tenets of leadership. Even before all this was established, leadership is not an uncommon phenomenon to us. I mean, right from our homes, we have been introduced to leadership, where our father is the head of the family. Also, youth have been introduced to leadership in the educational institutions. I mean, right from primary school level, they have been introduced and gotten themselves familiarized to prefectship, which is a form of leadership. And as they progress in life, they face higher and tougher responsibilities. But this is where the problem sets in. I mean, when these youth get out there into the real world, they feel incapable, they feel intimidated to stand at the forefront of politics in Nigeria. Why? Because Nigerians and the society in general have painted a picture that only people from the ages of 50, 60, 70 should be actively involved in politics. Hence, you see them venture into entrepreneurship where they can maximize their full potentials and their innate ability and skills to make changes in their world without any limitations or boundaries or specific age. Now, we also need to think about this. If the youth of today are pursuing their own success, they want to build a career for themselves, they want to have a big name for themselves, who will run after the success of the country, the general well-being of the society, and moving the country forward? This is what I propose, that enterprising youth with great visions, innovations, and dreams to move the country forward be trained, mentored, and monitored. Let the era of the elderly taking charge, being at the forefront of the politics of Nigeria, be brought to an end. Let the mentality and the ideology that youth are immature or inexperienced to handle the affairs and the politics of the country be wiped out from the minds of citizens. How can the youth be the leaders of tomorrow when the old ones are the ones ruling the future of the youth? Let us think about these things. From generations to generations, we have heard the saying that youth are the future of the nation, they are the future leaders. When is this future ever going to come? The future here should not imply in years to come or at a specific age. It should mean now, when creativity and innovative thoughts still run through their veins. I am certain that if youths are actively involved in politics of Nigeria will get to heights that have seemed unattainable for so many years, and Nigeria will continue to soar higher and higher and will be at the top of leagues of nations. I hope that I have been able to remove any scintilla of doubt that might have been in your mind concerning involvement of youth in politics, and I hope that I have fully convinced you that youth should be actively involved in the politics of Nigeria. Thank you.